The fog was so thick it swallowed sound. The forest beyond the river was silent, except for the distant hum of radios and the shallow breathing of soldiers who knew what was coming. The alert had come quietly, enemies. 3,000 meters out, no one moved. They all waited for the order. And then, through the mist, a figure began to rise from the marshes slowly, deliberately, as though the fog itself had shaped her. It was her, Captain Lyra Hale. The sniper they thought was gone. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're rewatching from. I love knowing who's listening. Lyra's last mission had ended in smoke and silence. Her unit was ambushed, her spotter killed, and she was declared missing behind enemy lines. For 6 days, her name had been whispered only in regretting, till now. Her emergence was ghost-like. Mud streaked her camouflage, her rifle slung low and wrapped in burlap and grass. Every movement was measured. Every breath was purpose. The men at the observation post froze as she knelt beside them, eyes narrowed toward the ridge. "They're coming in low," she murmured. 3 snipers, 2 scouts. Pattern looks professional. No one asked how she knew. They didn't need to. Lyra had always known. General Fisk watched her through binoculars from the forward command. "She shouldn't even be walking," he whispered to his aide. "How the hell did she make it back?" No one answered. The mist swallowed words before they could land. Lyra didn't speak much either. Her face was stone, her eyes hollowed by the kind of loss only battle teaches. But inside, her chest throbbed with memory. Her spotter Jace had died calling coordinates. His last words were a promise. "You'll finish this," and she would. The forest began to move, barely perceptible at first. Leaves shifted. A bird burst from the underbrush. Then the shimmer of motion, enemy scouts fanning through the trees. Lyra pressed the scope to her eye. Her heartbeat slowed to a precise rhythm. 1 breath, 2, then silence. The first shot broke the stillness. 1 man dropped, then another. The fog rippled, and the forest erupted into chaos. She worked methodically, every shot a ghost's whisper. Every breath, the sound of control. Her fingers didn't tremble, her mind didn't waver. Only when the 4th shot echoed, and she saw a figure crumpled, the same insignia as Jace's killer, did her eyes harden with something deeper than duty. Down at the command tent, Fisk slammed the table. "Who authorized her to engage?" "She did, sir," came the reply. "On her own?" "Yes, sir." "And she's winning." Lyra crawled forward, repositioning through the mud. Her uniform was soaked, her knuckles raw, but her breathing never broke. She whispered to herself as she adjusted the scope, a prayer or maybe a memory. A distant crack answered her, a counter-sniper. The bullet missed by inches, slicing bark beside her cheek. She didn't flinch. Instead, she smiled a small, grim smile that didn't belong on any battlefield. "Found you," she murmured. She rotated the scope to Click's right, exhaled, and fired. The counter-sniper never saw her. The forest went still again, the echo rolling like thunder through the valley. "Target neutralized," Lyra whispered into her com. But no one responded. Static filled her ear. She frowned, tapped the receiver, and froze. Behind her footsteps, soft, deliberate, she turned, raising her rifle, only to find a soldier kneeling with hands raised. "Captain Hale," he breathed. "Command thought you were dead," she interrupted. "Not yet." He nodded, stunned. "General wants extraction. They're pulling everyone out." Lyra looked past him toward the smoke rising over the hills. "No," she said quietly. "We're not done." The young soldier hesitated. "But ma'am, the order—" "I don't take orders from despair," she said, loading another magazine. "I take them from purpose." And before he could stop her, she was already fading back into the mist. By the time reinforcements arrived, the valley was silent again. Dozens of enemy troops lay scattered, their approach broken before it began. No one had seen her work, only the aftermath, a perfect arc of precision, the mark of a master sniper who moved like a ghost. General Fisk arrived by dawn. His boots sank into the wet earth as he scanned the tree line. "Where is she?" One soldier pointed toward the ridge. "Still out there, sir." "She hasn't come back." Fisk raised his binoculars and froze. Through the thinning fog, high on the ridge, a silhouette stood tall, her rifle slung across her shoulder, her figure half swallowed by light. She gave a faint nod toward the camp below, then turned and vanished into the mist once more. When the after-action report was written, they called it the Phantom Operation. No one ever found her bivouac. No one could explain how one sniper held off an entire advance. But Fisk, in his private notes, wrote only one line: "Courage doesn't shout." Sometimes it whispers through the fog. Weeks later, a letter arrived at headquarters. No sender, no return address. Inside, a simple message written in clean, even handwriting: "Mission complete. Jace can rest now," and folded within it. A single bullet casing, polished until it gleamed. Because bravery isn't always loud. Sometimes, it's the quiet pulse of a heartbeat in the mist. The choice to stand alone when everyone else has fallen. The whisper of a promise kept. Because courage doesn't need noise. It just needs a reason. And when the fog clears, the world always remembers those who stayed until the very last light faded. If this story touched you, hit the like button and subscribe to Cinematic Whispers for more cinematic stories of courage, sacrifice, and human spirit. Tell us in the comments, what does true bravery mean to you?